was a quiet Sunday night in the city, the kind of night where the streets slowly empty, shops close one after another, and only the sound of distant traffic reminds you that life is still moving. Inside a small recording studio on the second floor of a commercial building, music was playing loudly. Laughter echoed off the walls. Four young men were inside celebrating what they believed was the beginning of something big. They had just completed a music project they were proud of. To them, it was not just another recording session. It was progress. It was hope. It was a step closer to success. Daniel, the producer, was known among his friends as serious but kind. He believed in hard work. Kevin, the singer, had a voice people say could one day fill stadiums. Marcus, the sound engineer, was quiet but extremely talented with missing equipment. And Toby, the assistant, was the youngest of them all. Always smiling, always ready to help. They had built something together. Long nights, little sleep, big dreams. That evening, they ordered food and drinks. They talked about future plans. They discussed music videos, bigger studios, maybe even traveling outside the country one day. Nobody in that room knew those would be some of their final conversations. Earlier that night, someone else had visited the studio, a man named Victor. Months before, Victor had worked closely with Daniel. They had shared ideas, written music together, and even talked about building a label. But things changed. Monday became an issue. Credit for songs became a problem. Arguments happened. Voices were raised. Eventually, their partnership ended. Some people said the spirit was peaceful. Others said it was full of anger. What was clear is that the friendship was no longer the same. Security cameras later showed Victor entering the building that night. He greeted the security guard casually, like nothing was wrong. He went upstairs to the studio. He stayed for about an hour. According to phone records, there were messages exchanged between him and Daniel days before the visit. The messages were tense but not threatening. Inside the studio, witnesses later told police that the mood seemed normal when Victor arrived. There was small talk, some laughter, maybe even an attempt to act like old times. What nobody could see clearly was what was happening inside Victor's mind. Around 9:30 p.m., Victor left the building. He waved at the security guard and walked into the night. That was the last confirmed visitor to the studio. Hours passed, music continued, phones were used, then silent. The next morning, something felt wrong. The security guard noticed that no one had come out. Usually, someone stepped outside for fresh air or snacks. He knocked, no response. He called their phones. He could hear ringing inside, but nobody answered. By late morning, the building manager was called. They opened the door with a spare key. The scene inside stopped them in their tracks. The four young men were lying in different areas of the studio, one near the sofa, one close to the missing desk, another on the floor near the table. The room looked undisturbed. No sign of struggle, no broken furniture, no smashed equipment. Paramedics arrived quickly. They checked pulses. They tried emergency procedures, but it was too late. All four were declared dead at the scene. News spread quickly. Social media posts appeared within hours. Four found dead in studio. Mysterious death shocked city. Friends refused to believe it. Some thought it was fake news. Others rushed to the location, hoping for a different outcome. Police began their investigation immediately. The first question was simple. What happened in that room? There were no visible injuries that suggested violence. No weapons were found. No signs of forced entry. Nothing appeared stolen. It did not look like robbery. It did not look like a fight. At first, investigators considered accidental causes like food contamination, carbon monoxide, something environmental. But tests soon showed something much more serious. Toxicology reports confirmed that all four had the same harmful substance in their systems. That meant one thing: it was not random, it was deliberate. Detectives reviewed security footage from the building and nearby streets. Victor's visit stood out immediately. He was the last known visitor. That alone did not make him guilty, but it made him important. Police brought him in for questioning. Victor appeared calm at first. He said he stopped by to reconnect, He claimed he wanted peace. He said there was no fight that night. According to him, everything seemed fine when he left. But investigators had more than just footage. Phone records show that after leaving the studio, Victor turned off his phone for several hours. Internet history revealed trouble searches in the days leading up to the incident, like he searched for the substance he will use for the crime. Also, some messages he had sent to a friend expressed anger about being used and forgotten. Police also examined items found inside the studio. Bottles and containers were tested. One item in particular showed traces of the same substance found in the victims. Fingerprints were lifted. They matched Victor. When confronted with this evidence, his calm behavior began to fade. Detectives described a shift in his body language. He stopped making eye contact. His hands trembled slightly. He asked for water. He asked for a break. After hours of questioning, he finally asked to speak privately. What happened next changed everything. Victor confessed. He admitted that he carried something harmful with him that night. He said he was angry for months. He believed Daniel cheated him financially. He believed he deserved more credit for their shared work. He said watching the group move forward without him made him feel invisible. He told investigators that during the celebration, he made a decision out of anger. He described it as a moment of weakness. He claimed he only intended to harm one person. He did not expect the situation to affect everyone. But once it was done, there was no way to take it back. He left the studio thinking the effect would be limited. Hours later, 4 lives were gone. When news of the confession began public, the city reacted with shock and anger. Candlelight vigils were organized. Musicians held tribute events. Families struggled to understand how a disagreement could turn into something so deadly. Daniel's mother spoke briefly to reporters. She said her son had dreams bigger than the city. Kevin's younger sister said he promised to take her to his first big concert. Marcus' father described him as a quiet genius. Toby's friend said he was always the happiest person in the room. Now they were all gone. Victor was charged with multiple counts of murder. Court proceedings began weeks later. Prosecutors described the act as intentional and driven by resentment. Defense lawyers argued that he acted out of emotional distress and did not fully consider the consequences. But 4 families sat in that courtroom, knowing that no argument could bring their loved ones back. The studio remains closed today. What was once a place of creativity is now a reminder of tragedy. This case forced many people to think deeply about anger and conflict. How does frustration grow so strong that someone makes a decision that destroys lives? How many warning signs were missed? Could someone have stepped in earlier? Experts say unresolved anger can build quietly. Jealousy can grow in silence. Pride can prevent people from asking for help. And when emotions are not handled in healthy ways, they can lead to irreversible consequences. Music that was meant to be released as celebration has now become a memorial. And somewhere in a prison cell, a man must live with the weight of decision made in anger. A decision that changed everything forever.
Èmi làbúrò ìyá ọmọ tó kú, gbogbo ẹ̀yin Celestial, gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbáyé, ẹ bá wa dìde sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí o. Wọ́n fẹ́ rẹ́ wa jẹ nítorí pé bọ̀bọ̀ tó ní stúdíò yẹn, èmi fúnra mi mo fi ojú ra mi rí, àti ẹni tó ń ṣe birthday mo fi ojú ra mi rí, àti dé station síwájú wọn, táà respect wọn tí mo tún wá ń dààmú wọn pé kí ló dé ẹ̀yin ló yẹ kẹ́ ẹ dé bí báyìí síwájú wa. Tó ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wà ń lé àwọn ọlọ́pàá ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ pè nílé ní ilé ló ti wá bá mo ní ṣe bóyá kó ti arrest boy wọ́n ní kò lè sá lọ.
Mo fẹ́ béèrè kọ́kọ́ nígbà tí wọ́n tẹ́lọ̀ report ní Ajíwẹ̀ ṣé ìgbà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé àwọn people yẹn ṣé wọ́n wá report ní police station pé nǹkan báyìí ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn.
Nígbà tá a dé ní alẹ́ tá à ń pè níbí báyìí à ń pe nọ́mbà àwọn ọmọ yẹn anybody ò gbé pàtó máa gbé lọ́nà tó bá tilẹ̀ bá ti mọ́ ká máa bọ̀ ní Ajíwẹ̀ police station. Bàtà adé Ajíwẹ̀ yẹn ààrẹ anybody wọ́n náwọn ọmọ ẹni tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n náwọn aṣápadà kúrò mẹ́ àwa lọ sí complaints bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn bàtà máa padà dé ní DPO ń sọ pé bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ti wá report ní Ajíwẹ̀ police station fún àwọn làwọn fi lọ jálẹ̀kùn làwọn fi lọ kó àwọn òkú yẹn. Mo wá ń bèrè lọ fún ìgbà tí àwọn èèyàn wá ṣeré fún ẹ tí wọn ò mọ ibì kankan ṣé bóyá kó tiẹ̀ gba hòtẹ́ẹ̀ kan ṣo fún wọn ó náà bọ́ọ̀ yẹn ló jẹ́ pé àwọn máa sun studio nínú studio yẹn náà kú sí wọn nígbà tí wọ́n dé studio báwo ni wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ pé kò ti kú tó fi lọ pé ọlọ́pàá pé kán wá já ilẹ̀kùn ó nígbà tóun kanlẹ̀kùn tí wọn ò dìde lòun ṣe lọ rìpọ́ọ̀tù station pàtàwọn ọlọ́pàá dé àwọn já ilẹ̀kùn làwọn fi bá àwọn mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin nínú ilé 3 ló wá látọ̀dọ̀ tiwa ní ìdúrókò bọ́dà gbogbo ọmọ nàìjíríà ẹ gbà wá o ẹ dìde o.
ṣé ẹ fẹ́ ká dá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀.
gbogbo ẹ̀yin ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó wà lágbàáyé tó wà ní gbogbo tó wà ní Ògùn state local government gbogbo yín ẹ bá wa dìde sí i a fẹ́ kí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ handle kéèsì yìí ẹ má jẹ́ kí ìyà jẹ àwọn ọmọ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gbé o a fẹ́ kí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ handle kéèsì yìí fún ẹ dákun ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gbogbo ọmọ nàìjíríà ẹ dìde.
ẹ jẹ́ kí n béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ kan lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa tó jẹ́ olùṣàgùtàn àti ìkan nínú àwọn bàbá. Bàbá ẹ̀yin lolùṣàgùtàn ìjọ ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká dẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ mú orúkọ yín náà mo tún fẹ́ tún béèrè.
Ògúndélé Lawrence Adébáyọ̀.
prayer evangelist
Lawrence Adébáyọ̀.
ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tí ó bani lọ́kàn jẹ́ ni wọ́n ṣe ẹ fẹ́ kí àti gbogbo àpapọ̀ ọmọ ìjọ mímọ́ ṣe ẹ fẹ́ kí ẹ fẹ́ ká lọ́wọ́ sí kéèsì.
Mo fẹ́ kí a náwó sí i nítorí mò ń san ìpín mi déédéé ǹjẹ́ gbèsè ìpín àgbàlagbà mi ìṣọmọdé mo fẹ́ kí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ kó dìde torí ìhun bẹ́ẹ̀ la ṣe máa ń san ìpín lórí nǹkan báyẹn wọ̀nyí mo fẹ́ kí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ kó dìde sí.
ní orúkọ bàbá ọmọ àti ẹ̀mí mímọ́ orúkọ Ọlọ́run Samuel Bílẹ̀ Wọ̀ṣọ́fà a kí gbogbo ìdílé tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kárí rẹ̀ mọ́. Thank you so much.